Hi, I'm Edgar Hernandez.
And I'm Nuri Robles. And this is
Bar Talking
Bar. Your access to the heartbeat of New York City's bar and hospitality scene.
Hosted straight from the city that never sleeps, we sit down with bartenders, brands and ambassadors, hospitality pros, and cocktail lovers.
Whether it's the art of bartending, the hustle behind hospitality, or the wildest bar tales, expect raw conversations and industry secrets.
Listen to the people who pour your favorite cocktails and keep the nightlife alive.
If you love bars, spirits, and the stories that bring them to life, follow us, share, and subscribe to keep the conversations flowing.
The podcast that you didn't know you need.
New episodes weekly.
Hello, welcome back one more time to Bar Talking Bar. I'm Edgar Hernandez, and today...
And I'm Nuri Robles, and this is Bar Talking Bar. So welcome. And tonight, Edgar, tell us about tonight, please.
So we were lucky enough to be hanging out yesterday. For all of those who don't know, we're celebrating Mexican Independence Day.
Yay.
And we are honored to have today as a guest, Fabiola. Fabiola, thank you so much for coming today. She was kind enough to do a fundraising yesterday for the Street Vendor Project. Also, they just recently opened a new restaurant, Frijoleros, located in Greenpoint. But why don't we let Fabiola talk a little bit and let her know, let us know who you are.
Welcome, Fabiola. Please tell us who you are. Tell the audiencia who you are.
Well, Fabiola.
I'm Fabiola. I'm Fabiola Juarez. We recently opened Frijoleros. And I think one of the reasons street vendor projects that we wanted to help out so much that Liz and I, one of my partners, we sold tamales for a really long time in the farmer's market.
Okay.
So we know how difficult it could be, especially now. So I was G told us, I was like, let's do it.
And shout out to G. Thank you, G, for putting this event together also. Well, so of course, one of the questions that brought us, we wanted you to be here, and we wanted you to be and the audience also. Thank you because you guys know who she is. She competed in Spirac. Some of those who don't know, she won New York.
Mexican representing.
Yeah, I feel proud of that representation. But also, of course, you just started in this industry. You have your parents own a restaurant, and of course you did. You sold tamales with your mom, and I remember seeing that. Unfortunately, I have never tried them yet, but I can't wait. But yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit of how you started in this industry and what made you move into bartending in the future? Not in the future, but when you started. Now. Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. So my parents always had a restaurant. It wasn't anything special. It was just a to-go breakfast spot. So I grew up in Nanda. They had restaurants for that one for at least 20 years.
Oh wow.
In Lower East Side. Nice Hampton, which is the pasta spot, which is delicious.
Yeah. For Cynthia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cynthia? Oh.
It's right behind
Freeman's.
Yeah. It's between Bowery and Christie Fawcett.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Cool.
Well, I didn't know the part of the history.
Your parents were there?
Yeah. For 20 years, because they used to sell in Delancey Park, right across the street.
Mm-hmm.
So my aunts and my mom used to sell tacos, alcormal, dobladas, enchiladas, todo. Y en ese tiempo se vendía mucha cerveza. Mm-hmm. They used to do basketball leagues, for Mexicans. It was really big. I'm surprised we don't play basketball as much as we do before. So they got that spot. And every time I go to that spot, I remember it being so big. And I'm like, wow, it's not that big anymore.
Yeah.
But it's so cute. And I just remember growing up there. So I was always around. They closed that one, and they...
Do you remember what year was it
when they closed? It was probably 2003.
Okay.
2003, 2004. It was definitely after 9/11.
So your parents came to the States in the 80s?
80s.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 80s. I think 87 or 85.
Okay.
One of those. So then they stopped, and then someone hired my father to like fix something in Bay Ridge in some like grocery store, and the guy offered it to him. He's like, "Hey, do you want to buy it?" And
Oh, well, yeah, so cool.
yeah, and then I was like, "Why are you gonna buy it in Bay Ridge? It's so far." Because at that time we all lived in Fort Greene, which I grew up and raised. I was raised in. So that happened, and then I think that was around when I was 16. And then when I was 18, I fully started like helping them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like doing school and like helping them, and then I stopped school because it was like too much. And I just focused on doing that. And then I used to get like side jobs to like learn, because I wasn't learning from anything. I was just doing things that I thought was good.
Yeah, like you know, like it's very empiric. Like you learn how you do it by watching. It's like, you know, we as a kid, we know now to do, for example, a tortilla because we saw our grandmas or watching by
But
watching.
they never give us the steps how to make it. It's just by eye.
Ponle un puñito de esto, un puñito al otro y
Mitad de puñito.
sí, y era como que, okay, y ahora es como que ¿cuánto es un puñito? Ajá, y entonces.
So, yeah, and I started working. My first official job was Stoloache in Thompson.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I love that spot because during that time we had like such a great team. I mean, I didn't really know like steps of service, you know, and that's so important now because I'm like, wow, I was really green, obviously, first job.
And what was your position?
I was a server.
Oh, you were a server.
Yeah. And I was like, I want to be a bartender. But no one leaves. No, at that time, no one used to leave as a bartender. So I was like, there's no open positions. It's fine. So I started like working after as lunch bartender.
Okay.
So
In the same spot or?
Yeah, Toloache.
Okay, Toloache.
Toloache is from the
Julian Medina.
Julian Medina, right? Yeah. Because they opened another one in Times Square, right?
I think so.
They have several. They have
Yeah.
several now.
The main one is in 50th Street.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I was like, 22 when I started working there. I'm 33 now. That was 11 years ago.
Wow, you look so young. Thank you, baby.
Well, I'm sure you got a lot of experience when there with mezcalitos on the learning, the process. So after working there, and then you started working as a lunch bartender, how long did it take you to start getting those evening shifts?
I decided to leave. And I can't remember why. But I know after that I started to work in Atla as a kitchen because that's what I wanted to focus on. Because I've always wanted to be a chef, but like school for chefs is like $50,000.
Yeah, it's super expensive.
And then you don't even make that much money. Like I don't know how like chefs make it. Like seriously,
Fashion. They love passion and they live by the passion of cooking.
Yeah,
literally.
the long hours too.
Yeah.
They never tell you that when they give you the class. They never say you're gonna work 12 to 16 to 18 hours as a chef. It's hard. But yeah, exactly. But then you went and started working as a chef. And how long did you work at Atla?
I worked for probably like 8 months. It wasn't long.
But you started as a cook, right?
I started as prep.
A prep.
Because technically I didn't have any experience.
Yeah.
As cook. You know, as a cooking.
But I cook with my mom.
Yeah. I'm like, I know how to make this. But it was a different like ball game back then. I feel because everyone used to be like super tough. Like now, like I like it now because it's like healthy. But back then it used to be so toxic. Like
yes.
screaming.
Yeah, we have those conversations as well. Like sometimes people who work now, they said, I remember when a chef used to throw something, right?
Yeah, stuff.
Yeah. So for you, how was that experience though?
I loved it, but I hated it. Like I loved it because I learned so much and I learned how to do things correctly, you know, and there was like a certain sense of pride of like what you have to do, and if you have to make sure that everything is like great when you send it. If not, do it over.
Yeah, start all over again.
Yeah, so that was like one of the first things that I've learned from there. I was like, because before I was like, let's just take it out. It's about volume, you know, and that's like where I started to take care of like details.
Yes,
Yeah,
you become
exactly.
more detail oriented,
Yeah.
especially when you work at the kitchen.
Yeah, because also you want is if you work in the industry, it could be food or it could be a drink, but you want one of the most amazing things that I love about Edgar is that he always tells me like, oh, I want this cocktail to look the same every single time because you never know that someone is gonna take a picture of it and is gonna post it, and you know nowadays we live in this era of like everything is through Instagram or people
Social
look at
media.
something, and also as your ethical work, right? Like it's not like, oh, today I'm lazy and I'm just gonna cut it whatever and it's gonna look whatever, and it's fine when you work in this environment that you have structure, so then you can then eventually you see your own mistakes like, oh, that is not properly cut, so I'm gonna cut it again, right?
Yeah, exactly. Aside from that, I think even taking pictures, like you never know who that person is. And that was like one of the biggest lessons because I was like, you know, so that was like one of my biggest things. Like you never know who someone is. That person could be the person that changes your life, you know?
Exactly.
And it's like you have to treat everyone the same. And aside from that, like they're spending money, you know? Like you
That's what I always say. When you have a folk, especially if you're working as a bartender, or even if you're cooking for someone who's going to sit at the table, you don't know how long they took to plan a going out, right? Like whether it's a celebration, a birthday, or anniversary, whatever it is, even if it's just a one night out, you have to make it special. Otherwise, they're not going to come back.
Yeah.
And the one thing I learned about that is that 20 people, if one person doesn't like it, they tell 20 people. If one person liked it, they will tell 3 people. So that's how simple it is. It's like, unfortunately, that's how it is. But yeah, the social media that we live on now, if you don't have that skill of taking care of small little details, you'll forget about it. It's so easy to forget, like you say, you know, when you're in a high volume environment, it's different. But when you're learning the basics at a short age, I mean, when you started working there, you were younger. So that's a good thing because, you know, you start learning from to be more detail oriented. And it's now that I see you cocktails are amazing. But I don't want to go all the way to the cocktail thing. I want to continue talking about. So you stayed in Atla, and then for several months, and then what do you do after that?
After Atla, which I was like, I learned how to make conchas. I was like my biggest
Love conchas.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. And my other love, my obsession, which people who know me know I love, rationals, ovens. Such a nerd. I love rationals. Working over there was like rational. You could just put it because the conchas would come out so delicious because it would be like humidity and then heat and then like a timer and like everything would be like so like
Specific.
yeah, especially proofing. Bread is annoying sometimes, but after Atla, I love conchas.
But sorry, because I kind of lost it. So you were prep, then you became cook, and then
Pastry.
okay.
Pastries because that was the only open position, which I wasn't interested in being in pastries. I was more like I want to go on the line.
Okay.
Because I saw how like busy and like it was tough. It was tough. You see, Atla, they had only 2 cooks at the time running the whole place, like the whole thing.
Wow, that's impressive.
I know. So like back then, the cooks were like, I mean, I don't know now.
And you were with chef.
But like it was like two of them, and I just wanted to jump in too. Like I wanted that fire because I feel like if I could do that and like be detail oriented, like you know what's next.
Yeah. Did you work with Chef Daniela? Chef Daniela was there for a little bit, right?
Yeah, she was there. My CDC was Chef Hugo.
Hugo, yay.
Yeah.
Oh, Chef de Cuisine.
Yeah, and then after I left, I think Marisol started, which Marisol's a badass, by the way, because she's so quick. And this lady is
smart, quick. And
that's one of the things I like. We're talking about something very similar with a previous guest. Yeah. When she went to culinary school, and one of her chef mentors said, you have to learn how to solve problems immediately, how to, instead of extending or expanding the problem, is like resolve easy, fast. Like
solution.
And the solutions. And well, now that you're saying that, I feel like this person could be in one of those scenarios where if you're busy and she can get things done at a busy pace, especially.
But now that you mention as well, like the part of like lady, I feel like that's another cool part that I really want to invite you here because you're part of that generation as well. Of like, I mean, definitely women in kitchens and bars and the hospitality itself, we have history, but knowing leaderships, right? And then what I'm saying is that now, when people like women start breaking those kind of or like entering into this male-dominated industry, you realize that first of all, it's like a cliche to say that we're the less powerful, but or strongest. But what I'm trying to say is that basically it's super interesting that you started in an era that women were part now of the room, right? Like, and then you take these leadership steps, and then you have also mentors and mentees, and then you have mentees as like you, that you have this hunger of like, I want to learn, I want to be in the line because I want to be this badass woman too, right? And then you wanted, the other part is like, you wanted the two jobs I feel that they're the hardest. One is like being a line cook, and the other one to be bartender, because it's kind of the same. You are only in that area and in that area, and you have to be, multitasking, super detail oriented, fast, and like solving problems right away.
Yeah.
And you have the energy though.
Barely. No, I remember that time, like Daniela was like, when she became like one of the, I forgot her award, but she had like one
best
of the
chef.
best
She was
chefs,
best
right?
chef in the world at that time when she was still running Cosme and Atla.
Yeah. I think that was like definitely a motivation, because I don't think we had at that time like a Mexican chef that was like that young, that amazing, and it was like Cosme was, when it opened, and it still is, but when it opened, I remember like everyone talking about Cosme, like that
was the talk of the town.
Yeah, like
especially the meringue. We love the meringue in there.
Yeah.
The Kern Musk meringue.
the fish too.
Yeah.
But I remember her being like a motivation, and like especially working there, and seeing other female chefs, and even in the bar, and just like leaderships, like trying to like reach for like the stars essentially, right? Like I was like, if any male chef can make it, why can't we?
Exactly.
And especially, well, one of the reasons why I admire Daniela so much is because she was Mexican, young. But then I also was like, well, I've never seen anyone from New York City that's like Mexican as well, like have not saying that it didn't have anything, but like, like investors and all, like this big names. Like I've never seen that like happen yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I want to do that because I want everyone else to know that it's possible. Like if I did it, like in me, like if Daniela did it, I could do it too, in my own way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's another thing is when you surround with people that it's gonna be kicking rocks and actually moving things aside in a sense. What I'm trying to say is they reaching for awards because they put in the hard work, and if you're there on the team, you want to do the same thing. You want to like become her or become your own person, of course, but at the same time, you want to get an award. Mm-hmm. You want to get the recognition because you are as good as anybody else. And of course, proving yourself to yourself is the most important thing because you cannot prove anything to anybody. It's just you. And that's a really good thing, And so you started working in there, and then you became a pastry chef. Yeah. And after you became a pastry chef, what did you do after that?
Well,
No,
I left.
You were a pastry chef?
I was pastries and
we say pastry chef because pastry chef is basically you have to know it all.
No,
There's
but my confusion was like if she went through pastry because she was like more like I want to be in the line.
Yeah. Well, that's where they put me because that's where they needed someone. So like, here, you work here. Like if you could work here, maybe we'll put you on the line later. So that was like why. And I don't use chef because I feel like I'm not like, for pastries at least, like. Mm-hmm. I get like sweaty. Like I'm not prepared. Like for me, I can't own up to a name if I know that that's not like
Okay.
me lo merezco.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
But that's fine. I get shy. But after that, I went to, I think I started working in Claro.
Okay.
I think that's when Claro opened. I think it was like a year in. Because I was like, I want to know what these like Michelin star Mexican restaurants are about, you know? And that's where I started to bartend.
Oh, okay.
Well, I served a little bit and then I bartended. And that's where I like every place that I worked in, they gave me like little ideas. Like you learn. So I couldn't like afford like
School. Yeah.
school.
Culinary school.
I was like, let's just work and let them pay me, you know? So I started working in Claro. I loved like his whole menu of Chef TJ. I was like, this is really good. And I like the fact that he never toned down like the spice.
Okay.
It was always like, como el agua chile. I was like, damn, it's so good. Está bien picante. Yeah. So I started working there. It was fun. I met really cool people.
What year was this?
I don't know.
Probably 2019, 2020.
Something like
Something
that.
like that, because that's when they opened. And I think Chema was also running
Yeah.
the bar program in there. I'm not sure if you...
You were with Chema?
No, not there. I think I might have worked like, I want to say 2018, like 2018-ish.
Okay.
Maybe 2017. I don't
Well,
know.
there.
Yeah. Then I started working in a wine bar because Colony, because I wanted to like learn about like natural wines. At that time, it was like, wow, natural wines. And it was also like every time I dined there, I loved it. So I was like, what are they doing? I want to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, how can I make someone's experience my experience when I come to like their restaurant? Like, I want to go back again. Maybe I can afford it, but I want to go back again. I'm looking forward to. Like that's why we do stuff, I think. And well, no, I don't think this is why we do stuff, because we want people to come back.
Yeah.
You know, we want to be proud of what we serve. So I started working there. I loved it. I learned so much. And another thing was two of the owners were females.
Okay.
Emily and Elise, and then my bar manager was Michelle. Shout out to Michelle.
So,
Out to Michelle.
Yeah, loved her. Always looked up to her because she was like a badass from like Long Island. You know, I think I always hold dear people that from like New York and yeah, and I wanted to work under all of them to learn, especially to run a bar, because I was like, that was my next step. Like, okay, fine, I understand the kitchen a little bit more. Like, how do I run a bar, or how do I make a proper drink at that time, you know?
Okay.
And, you know, for me at that time, I loved her drinks. Like, she was doing, like, shrubs, which for me was like, vinegar. Ew. Like, why are you going to put vinegar in a drink?
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then I started tasting all these, and it's delicious. Like, she was working with ingredients like persimmon that I didn't ever taste in my life, you know? So that was pretty cool. And then after that...
oh my God, we have an inviter. Sorry.
Come on, Leo.
Get down, bro.
So sorry.
Get
I mean,
down.
not sorry, but not sorry.
Grab
Sorry,
him.
but not sorry. Okay, bye, Leo. Thank you. This is Leo because he's always behind the scenes. We always hear about like his meowing, but today he wanted to do his debut.
The your appearance, Bill.
Pop-up guest.
Yeah, the
He
pop-up
did.
guest.
He actually popped out of them. No. All right, and then so Michelle is from Long Island.
Yeah, super badass. And after Colony, I worked in Crown Shy because I was like, all right, I want to work Michelin star restaurant. Like, let's do this.
Wow.
Another one, different style. And they were connected to like Overstory, which was like one of the best bars, which is one of the best bars, especially in New York City. I was like, I want to know what that is, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like,
How was your experience there?
I love that. I love the whole team, the whole bar team. Everyone on the floor was like super nice. And what I enjoyed the most of that restaurant is that it was super brown, like super brown. Like servers, it was probably like 80% like Mexicans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, over story.
No, Crown Shot.
Crown Shot.
Crown Shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at that time. Super proud, like super cool. And I think I mentioned that to them. I was like, on my last day, I was like, I love the fact that the kitchen is the opposite here. You know, because we're so used to having like Mexicans, Guatemalans, like whatever, in the kitchen. And then all the white people in the front. And then like this place was like opposite. And I was like, this is so cool. Like we're the face of like the Crown Shy right now. And everyone was from New York mostly. The bar team was amazing. At that time, I don't think they had any females working. And they had to hire Maddie and myself. And
So
we
you
were
was only two.
yeah, it was two of us.
That's
And then,
cool.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then we started around the same time, like a week apart. And then I loved working with her because she just taught me how to be like very like efficient. Like, you know, you learn things everywhere you go, and especially like learning from people is pretty cool. They're not teaching you, but like I love to watch and I love to see what people are doing. Like, not in a bad way, but like,
No, of course, you learn more. Sometimes you learn more by watching than somebody telling you over and over.
Yeah.
And it's a repetition.
Yeah.
So it becomes muscle memory
Yeah.
once you start seeing it over and over. And of course, you absorb that. One of the things that one of my mentors told me, you have to be in a sponge and absorb everything. When you see, you don't look at 180, look at 360.
yeah.
Because that's more important. Like, everyone is doing something different. Even if they don't have different positions, they all play a role. We all play a role.
Yeah.
And even if a buzzer is carrying a plate or glass in some way, we're like, oh, I can probably do that. You know, like,
Yeah,
take it to your own advantage.
I remember also like when I started working in restaurants, I see, like this dangerous move of like servers carrying like 22 wine glasses, and I was like afraid of carrying two. And then eventually you want to do that because besides looking cool, but like for efficiency,
Efficient.
right? Like you don't want to do like 6 trips to carry, and then you learn how to do those things, right? What did you do? What did you do in Altar?
Altar. So actually, I help open Altar because at the time, I was working with my parents. So at the time, I was always working with my parents. So the owner from Chavelas, which is the same owner from Altar,
Okay.
he approached me and was like, I guess he saw what I was doing, and with my parents' spot, which was like a tiny little Mexican spot in Bay Ridge. And then he asked me, he's like, hey, I'm opening a spot. Do you want to come over and see it? And then, I'm looking for someone to do the cocktail menu. And I was like, I can't do it. Like, I'm so new. I'm learning. Like, I don't, what? Like, no. I was like, I barely know anything. And he's like, just come by and then we'll talk about it. So I went by and I was like, the place is beautiful. It looks like a church. That was my other baby. I have like so many babies. No. But I went, I saw it, and I was like, this is beautiful. I was like, listen, I don't know. Like, I don't know. He's like, well, I have someone that's going to help you open it too. So, if you're comfortable working with someone else, like, I think it's going to work. I was like, okay, well, I was like, I'm going to do it. But me, doubting myself, I'm like, I'm not ready, like, for this. Like, what's the difference between, I don't know, this and that, So I told them, okay, let's do it. If it doesn't work out, I'm going to leave because I don't want to be like another, like, bar that's not good.
And you said you did it.
Yeah.
So, which is very cool, though.
Like, the thing is, like you said, I don't think, even if you don't succeed at what you're doing at the moment, you're not failing because you're learning lessons.
Yep, it's a lot of learning.
It's a lot of learning, and how are you gonna learn if you don't mess up and if you don't fall? I was like,
even if you're a head bartender or if they give you the position, the fact that you're learning how to be a head bartender, because it's not just creating the cocktails, it's logistics, money. Like, you have to know how to manage your budget, your numbers. So you're not learning how to make cocktails because that part you already know.
I mean, I feel like you're parents will be like, I'm very proud of you. But what was it like?
My parents, I mean, they were disappointed that I started working in restaurants, because why would you work in restaurants when you could go to school, you know? And I'm like, and I told my mom, I was like, hey, like at this point, and it was like around, well, at this point, I was like, I could get a degree, but it's not going to make me happy. Mm-hmm. And like, sometimes it doesn't work out. Like, sometimes I'm not going to, like, it doesn't work out. You're not happy, and then you leave your job to do another thing. I'm like, this is what, like, you grew up teaching me. So, like, I want to do this.
And then also because you like to, you know, you are going first, and you like to connect with people.
Yes,
you like,
You're going. Probably you're introvert, but that doesn't mean you're not going.
No, but like you like to connect with people, and that's another part of hospitality, because it's natural, you know, because you can't teach somebody has to be hospitable. It's just you being your own person. If your parents taught you at an early age, it's easy. It comes second nature also.
Yeah, hospitable. I think that's what we learned being Mexican.
Yeah, it's like that's what I was always say. You know, when you go to your parents' house, to your cousin, to your uncle, anyone, like they feed you to know, like you cannot eat anymore because you don't like my food. No, I'm stuffed, but still, like continue giving you something, which I love. By the way, because I always save some space for dessert.
Yeah, but also like that's one of the things that I always mention as Mexicans. We grew up with that hospitality, right? Like. I mean, you go to a house, and the first thing you are taught is like you have to say hello.
Back to the question of my parents, I think they were obviously like the backbone of like who I am. You know, like my mom opened up the first restaurant not knowing how to make a coffee, how to cook, because she didn't know how to cook. She figured it out.
Yeah,
and. You know, my dad always just made it happen. Like, he was just, like, the guy that made it make sense and make it functional. So I think that was, like, the best two people that could, like, raise me.
So going back to your parents, you know, like, they raised you, they gave you all these skills. They also, you without even knowing, you acquired them, and you went to work to all these restaurants. And I remember seeing you working at a different place. Do you have a different place after Altar and then
record room?
Record room. You did record room, right?
I love record room.
Well, I didn't get to see it, but I saw your post on Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, she's working at a record room with Kathy." And how long were you there?
I was there like 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah. I loved it there. It was so I loved the whole concept because it was like a Black-owned place. Rob 2, 10 to 1. Shout out to 10 to 1.
Yeah.
Shout out to 10 to 1. Where is your rum? We need it.
We need rum here.
Yeah. I worked there and it was pretty cool. Because it was free pouring and I wasn't used to that. Because I come from, at that time I came from like the bar before that was Crown Shy, which was like everything needs to be jiggered. Everything needs to be a certain way. Which I love that too. Like, steps of service.
Yeah.
I love the way it flows. I love that you dance the dance without talking.
Yeah.
You know, like every place has its su baile, you know, and it's like beautiful. Record room was the opposite. It was like, how many drinks can you make in a minute? And Katie, like working with her, it was like pretty cool, which I met during Speed Rack. And then we also worked, not together, different times, but she worked in Dear Irvin too.
You were talking about like the love of learning now the opposite way of life. Free pouring.
Yeah, I loved it. It was just like free pouring, learning, and also like training for Speed Rack like kind of taught me that because it was like counts of things. And I love the fact that in record room I would like count different things with like hands, and I could know like when to like drop one thing, drop the other, and like it was fun. I loved it.
Also, for all you guys watching us and listening to us on Spotify or anywhere you listen to the social media or to your music, what you're driving, whatever you're doing, we have subtitles in Spanish and English when you guys tune in on our YouTube channel. So, as you know, we are Spanglish. New York based, and this is what we're doing it. So going back to that, you were going, and you were in a record room, and you were on speed rack.
When did you decide to do a speed rack?
Someone always told me to do speed rack, and I was like, no, like how am I gonna remember all the cocktails? Like, no, I'm gonna forget. I'm like, I can't do that. What gave me power to do it was that I did alter and I didn't think I was going to do it. And aside from that, you get to meet so many badass people.
Fabiola is the owner of Frijoleros in Greenpoint in Brooklyn, New York City. So tell us about that project.
So I love to window shop. So I would always go through the websites and I saw this one. And then Liz and I were like, let's go. We're going to see it. I was driving by and I was like, oh, there's a sign up. Like an actual sign, for real estate. Because that time it wasn't. So then called them and they were like, oh, when can you come? We'll show it to you right away. We went, we sent all the papers. And we were a little bit hesitant because the rent is a little high. Well, at least for me, because, and I was like, man, it's a little expensive. And then that's when we spoke to my other partner, which Cesar.
Cesar is the chef, and Liz is your partner, your other partner.
Cesar is in charge of the kitchen, and then Liz is in charge of the front of the house.
Okay.
I do both menus. I do the food menu and I do the cocktail menu.
Okay.
So he's essentially CDC, but I worked with him in Chabela's, and I was like, he was the one who showed me. Because I was very used to my parents' way of working. I do it myself. I do everything myself, and I ask him for help. And he showed me structure.
Okay, how to delegate and trust others.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the biggest things, which helps out a lot. By the way, you just have to trust others, and that's becoming a good leader in a way.
So the moment you ask for help, it's actually showing that you're a team player. So you don't want to make mistakes and then you put your team in jeopardy.
I actually appreciate help now. So we told Cesar, because Cesar was always someone that I wanted to work with. Because since we worked together in Chabela's, I was like, okay, I need this guy on my team.
Why did you choose to work with Liz?
I know Liz was a bartender in Cebu, which is in Bay Ridge. And then I was like, Liz, I can't be home in the pandemic. And she was like, I was like, let's do tamales? She was like, okay. And I was like, oh, okay, let's do it. And then we, all the hard work was coming. And I was like, oh my God, Liz, do we really want to do this? Making tamales is hard.
I know you have to do the whole...
No.
I don't cook ever, but when I learned how to do tamales, it was the whole hand.
And in the salsas, cooking the chicken or whatever protein you're making, shredding it, and then put it together, cooking it. And at that time, it's time. It's time, and then also, we were doing it in my house the first 3 weeks, and then my stove is like this. And I'm like...
Tiny.
Yeah, and then the ollas we were putting, they were like this. And I'm like, bro, what are we going to do?
You need a big space.
Yeah, and then I asked my mom for help, and I was like, hey, can I use your stoves? She was like, yeah. So we started selling tamales. That's one of the reasons why I chose Liz, because it was I want to help us be better. And I think she deserves that. We both deserve that.
And it's cool because you know a person for a long time, so you can trust. I think that's the main reason that you can do something when you trust someone, right?
Yeah.
And then it helps you because it could be tricky when it's your friends or your family, because sometimes that relationship could be damaged or it can improve. But I guess when you have that goal or the same goal, it helps okay, this is our baby.
Yeah.
And it takes also good sense of a team, right? Because it's even if whoever puts more money or but you're working with other people that they also want the same, so everybody's like, this is our baby, right?
I love them. Obviously we have arguments here and there, but like, I don't think we're ever gonna fight, because I think we're all like conscious of what the three of us do. I think also we're funny with each other. I think that helps a lot. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're all going for one goal, you know. In the beginning, it was hard because we didn't know what we were gonna do, like what was gonna be our theme, what are we gonna sell, like what's gonna work, what's not gonna work, like how.
But did you know the name already?
No, we didn't know. And then we had a meeting. We had multiple meetings, and we were like, "Hey, what's gonna be the name?" And I was just like thinking, and I was like looking up like names that have meaning, because it's gonna be my first baby, so it needs to be a really good name. And then I don't know, like I was searching things up, and then I was like, I saw Frijoleros, and I was like, why not? I'm like, why not Frijoleros? And then I was like, hey guys, we had a meeting. I was like, hey guys, do not laugh, but what about Frijoleros? And then Cesar starts cracking up, and I'm like, bro, I just told you not to laugh.
First thing I said.
He's like, ay, Fabiola, tú, ¿cómo vamos a hacer frijoleros? No mames. And I was like,
yes, we're gonna be frijoleros.
Yeah. And I was like, seriously, guys, like, stop and think. Like, what if we are, like, frijoleros? Like, obviously people are gonna hate it. But, like, bad press is good press. You know? And it was also, like, not just that. It was making some, like, a word that's used to, like, insult us into something positive, because, like, you could own it. You know?
But actually, you know, it's... When I saw the name, for example, in my opinion, is that Mexicans, we get the name not because other country or people says, oh, in a bad way, but if you go, it's also related to the roots of, like, hard work in Mexico, right? Like, in Mexico, one of the main basic foods, it's corn and beans, right? Yeah. And I think that's the way they call us, because they see us eating a lot of beans, and then they turn it off to be negative, right? But actually, like, Mexicans, we're very proud of, like, dude, we eat tortillas, we eat meat, we eat a lot of, like, veggies. Before it became a fashion of being organic and everything, we actually were.
Forget about your avocado toast. We still eat it.
So for me, actually, besides your story, it means a lot, because definitely we're frijoleros, and it's very inspiring that if you go also to Mexico, you go to your grandma or your mom cooking beans. It's like the most delicious.
I love
ever.
beans.
Yeah,
my mom would also tell the story. She's gonna tell you so many stories. When she was pregnant, she ate like a whole thing of black beans. Oh. I love black beans.
Yeah,
black beans, tortillas, crema y queso y un chile. Like, I'm chilling. You know, like, I'm good. But actually, we had like we had one person telling us, like, you guys should do better. How dare you call it frijoleros? And I was like, bro, like, I didn't want to reply, because I was like, no, you shouldn't. If you don't get it, you don't get it. You know, like,
it's also the person who's opening it. Yeah. You know, like, it's not just anybody who's not in the community or who doesn't have any background. It's like us being the Latinos, Mexican, from the, you know, that we love to eat, or we eat, you know, food in every day. You know, unless you go eat sushi.
No,
a veces.
But yeah,
I saw that if you make a, ¿cómo se dice encuesta? Poll. And if you ask every Mexican, no matter who is, it's gonna be like, oh, I love enfrijoladas. I love, like, mi torta con frijoles. I love, like, beans and eggs. Like, everything has to have beans, you know?
Everything.
So we're proud frijoleros, and I love the name. And then
I think it also comes from, like, frijoleros, like, people who don't have money, people who are, like, working, from, like, the bottom up. And I think that was as another reason why we called it, because we were gonna, like, come from nothing, and hopefully we get, like, super far.
So what I've seen, the space is amazing. It's big. You guys have a really good cocktail program. I liked it. Like the first time we went back the next day.
Yeah.
And we were friends because we were like, oh shit, we want to go. And then like we honestly were like, oh, there was something good here. I'm like, oh, Frijoleros, do you something? So we went back twice, right? Of course, there's space. So if anybody needs a space, like you guys watching, if you guys need space to have a party, especially now, it's Christmas season, you guys celebrate a birthday, posada, like a family gathering, whatever. They got you. They have really good food, they have really good drinks, they have a good space, and I'm sure you're gonna have a great time with a great bartender who you are, and of course your team as well.
Team.
No, and the food is.
Yeah.
I will recommend, I don't know if people, when they go to, I don't know if you're going to change it, but the tostada, the chicharrón con tuna.
That's going to stay.
That's
I
amazing. And it's like...
I saw Natasha yesterday eating it, and she was loving it. And she's like, oh my God, this stuff is so good. I was like, it's good. With love, I told you.
It's so good.
It's so good. And it's, honestly, everything you have on the menu is really good. I mean, we had almost everything on the menu. The cocktails. We ordered everything. We were like, let's have everything.
Yesterday, we were celebrating, meaning September 15th, celebrating the Mexican independence. But the funds were towards the street food project. Do you mind telling? Street vendor, sorry. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, G put it together. I know the street vendor projects are meant to help street vendors with whatever, like, financial or, like, legal help they need. So we were raising funds for that.
Because some people don't, like you say, if you start selling tamales, if you have a permit, you sell tamales, you need to get a permit. Sometimes it takes a long time.
There's no permits, so
exactly.
That's the thing. Like,
they're not available, but they still give you a ticket. Sometimes they take the merchandise. Like I've seen street vendors listen to merchandise.
Frustrating.
Of course, because they invested whatever they have, and then to make a profit for the day or the week, and it's fucking heartbreaking. Oof.
Yeah. It's so like, I could just imagine if people take my stuff. I would be so mad.
And like I feel like people sometimes complain about street vendors because they said, oh, they create, garbage or things and that. But also, it's kind of like just, I always said this.
It's culture.
It's not just that, but also like, if you have a problem, bring a solution. Mm-hmm. You cannot just complain about, oh, this, and that. Obviously, many people want to sell, with a permit and follow all the rules that the health department puts and everything. But if there is no permit and there is no way to get it, other people will say, well, find another job. But it's very hard and entitled to say that because you don't know the circumstances. And sometimes if people talk from their privilege, I think it's very, like unfair because, we're human beings and we have to look to, feed your family, our family, to, help others. And we're not selling drugs. We're selling food, amazing
happiness.
Food.
Happiness.
We're selling happiness.
Yeah.
Back to what, like, I remember we were talking about being shy, like, the first time. After that, like, people loved our food. Like, they loved the tamales. And then we started selling, like, pozole and all that. And I think after being shy, we learn how to be proud of what we were doing. And it wasn't like, oh, we're here selling in the street and like,
yeah,
because you won't find a lot of like first generation people selling food in the streets. And we were really proud because I was like, oh my God, guys, like this is like the best amount I've ate, blah blah blah. Yes. Like pozole.
And this was all you guys making it, just the two of you,
and our moms would help us.
Oh, that's good.
There. And I think that's like the beautiful part. And I loved that people looked forward to Saturdays because that was the only day we sold in the Fort Greene Farmers Market. Mm-hmm. So it was just like a prideful moment when people would come and wait on the line. By the way, we had lines, and we were like, "What?
That's great."
We're doing this, like, excuse me.
I love when she does that and she has no hair. Check her little curls.
And then Eater wrote an article about us, and it was like, bro, like, and it was just a lot of like good vibes for us. And I again, I used to love when people used to come and be like, I look forward to this my whole week.
It's amazing. Your story is very powerful. I told Edgar that I was so happy that you accepted to come, even when you're tight schedule.
Yeah, very busy.
Giving us that opportunity to not just interviewing you for, like we're going to be chismosos, but I personally, I really, really feel like you are a very, as a professional of the hospitality, you're a very well example of like, you can learn and you can grow up and, you became responsible and you learn also like that, the structure of like, if you really want to learn something and you want to do that, you will be a skilled professional and your dreams come true. Yeah. And then you have Frijoleros.
Frijoleros, and I think this is just the first step of you guys having it. I mean, you're so young. How many years are you? How old are you?
I'm 33.
Damn, you're so young.
Yeah.
Am I?
Yes, you are. No, you know what? And that's good because at this age, I feel like nobody's really opening the first restaurant. It's only a few number of people. And, this is take you to number one. And then probably in a couple of years, we'll see if we will learn number two or something else. And, of course, like I say, you guys have a really good cocktail program.
Yeah, I love it.
The food is amazing. And honestly, I can't wait to go back and have folks to go visit your spot. Yeah. And, try it for themselves, see it for themselves. So, que no te digan, que no te cuenten.
Pásale, güerito. Güerito, pásale, güerita. But yeah, thank you so much. And, don't forget to subscribe, guys. We're going to put all the information on the titles where you can find, follow Frijoleros, follow Fabiola as well. Follow us and share, subscribe, and make us, share the community that we're building right here, right? And I have to mention this. We have this saying in the bartending world, tip your bartender. And we are having a buy coffee for application. So
buy me a coffee, guys.
Buy me a coffee just to support our project. We're going to put the link also in the credits. And, I hope you keep watching us and you like this show with just...
Show. Well, for Spanish, press 1. Right? Just kidding. Over and out.